Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be setting up our bullet journal for February. I can't believe this is already the second month of the year. January had been really fast and very exciting for me, so maybe that's why it just went by so quickly. Anyway, for this month's spread, I was inspired by Pinterest. I've seen this kind of spread for quite some times now, but I guess this is the first time I get a chance to do it. I think they look really cute and simple and shouldn't take too much time to set up. So for this setup, I will be using black as my main color, and I will be using multiple sizes of the fine liner pens and markers. I decided to draw the grid with my hand instead of using a ruler because I don't want the grid to look too neat and I want it to look kind of like doodle-ish. For the decorations, I draw boxes to replicate notes and pictures hanging on this the wall grid organizer. I also draw a picture of a rabbit to represent the year of the rabbit. Then I added this hanging mini calendar on the side. So yeah, I really like how this month setup turned out. It looks a lot different than the past couple months that I've been doing scrapbooking, but that's because this year I feel more light and I want to try something that is more cute and fun. Also, this month I feel a bit artsy, so I use my handy dandy watercolor tin. I'll be linking this product down below. I chose this watercolor because the color is really cute and it's not too vibrant. So yeah, that's why I chose this one and it turns out really pretty. And finally, my cover page is done. Let's move on to our calendar spread. For this spread, I want to make it cohesive to the first page, so I am going to make a hanging calendar. I decided to use a size 1 Sakura Pigma, but honestly, I think the lines are too thick and too overwhelming. So I use a smaller tip fine liner to draw the calendar and notepads. I use a brush pen to write down February on my mini calendar, and I finish off with some smaller fine liner. I use some watercolor to add the decorations on the calendar so it doesn't look too plain and blend into the background. I also use some craft paper and washi tape to add some colors to the spread. But overall, I had so much fun doing this grid because to use your hand to draw the straight line, it is pretty hard, and I had to use pencil to draft first because I don't want to mess up the whole grid situation. Our next spread is our trackers. This month, I add a health tracker as well. That's because my goal for this year is to get back to exercising and I want to be healthier. Well, since I had my baby almost 3 years ago, I had not been exercising and I felt weak and sore everywhere. So I want to get stronger and healthier. I also want to fit into my old jeans again because I love them so much. So yeah, if you guys have any fitness goal or anything you like to try for this year, please share with me. I like to get some ideas. I used to go to the gym with personal trainer, but I hated the gym so much and the cost for the training sessions are very expensive. So this year I signed up for Pilates and I took a few classes. I enjoyed it so far. It is not too hard, but the problem is that it's the new year, so everybody tries to get, to go to exercise. So it's really hard to book the classes. But yeah, hopefully I get to work around my schedule and get to work out some more. Now let's get back to our tracker. I feel like I added too many things on here and there's a lot going on, the background, the grid, and I feel like it looks crowded and overwhelming. So I try to go back and correct it with some drop shadow, but I didn't think it helped at all. So I was thinking if I should start over, but then I ended up adding more details. I add some stickers and I use a darker color to make drop shadow. So it turns out pretty good, and I feel happy because I don't have to start over, because it took me a while to finish this spread. Finally, our last spread is the weekly setup. Last month, I didn't use my journal as much as I wanted to. I also used another notebook for my work schedule and planning, and I also used a separate notebook to write down my thoughts. So I only use this bullet journal to write down tasks, appointments, or things that are very important. So that's why I decided to cut down some spread that I don't really use much, so I can save some paper, and hopefully this bullet journal lasts me throughout the year. So for this setup, I learned a lesson from the last one that I shouldn't be using a thick fine liner. And I also make this little paper turn sideways, so that way it doesn't look too straight and doesn't look too overwhelming. I use a size 02 fine liner, which comparable to 0.03 millimeter, I believe, and I made the grid size of 4x4 squares. As for the decorations, I want to keep it minimal, so I'm not gonna add anything too crazy, but I have this mini calendar on the left, and for each days of the week, I write down in different fonts, so it looks more interesting. Okay, and we are coming to the end of the video. I would like to thank you for waiting for my video and being patient with me, because I am always late and I need to manage my time better. But that's because this new year I started my new job and I had to learn so much, so it is pretty overwhelming. But hopefully this next month I will get back on track and be on time with my video. So if you haven't done so already, please click like and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out my next videos. And here's a final flip through for this month's setup. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.